Welcome to day 4 of your Navigating Change course. Today we're building on your growing ability to distinguish between controlling and flowing patterns by learning to note a specific obstacle that appears in every life transition: resistance. You've been practicing basic change patterns and uncertainty tolerance. Now, we'll explore how resistance shows up in your system and how to work with it skillfully. Find your meditation position, sitting upright, with your spine naturally straight, feet flat on the floor, if you're in a chair. Let's establish your breathing foundation. Place one hand on your chest, one on your belly. Take a slow breath in through your nose for 4 counts, feeling your belly hand rise more than your chest hand. Hold for 2 counts. Exhale through your mouth for 6 counts, letting your shoulders drop. This breath pattern helps shift your nervous system from resistance mode into receptive mode. Let's do this together 3 more times. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. Continue this breathing rhythm as we begin today's noting practice. Resistance to change shows up in 3 distinct ways we can learn to recognize: physical tension, emotional pushing away, and mental arguing with reality. Today you'll learn to note these resistance patterns and then practice shifting into what I call flow states, the natural ease that emerges when we stop fighting what's happening. Let's start by noting your current state. Now bring to mind a current change or transition in your life, something that feels challenging or uncertain. Don't choose the most difficult situation, but something with a moderate level of discomfort. Hold this situation gently in your awareness. Notice what happens in your body when you think about this change. Do you feel tightening in your jaw, shoulders, or stomach? If you notice physical tension, simply note resisting and breathe into that area. The noting helps you recognize the pattern without being controlled by it. Now notice what emotions arise when you hold this change in mind. Do you feel frustration, fear, or a sense of wanting to push the situation away? If you notice emotional resistance, note pushing away and take one conscious breath. Remember, you're not trying to eliminate these feelings. You're learning to recognize them as temporary visitors rather than permanent states. This recognition itself begins to soften the resistance. Notice your mental response to this change situation. Is your mind arguing with what's happening, creating stories about why this shouldn't be occurring, planning elaborate ways to avoid or control the outcome? If you catch your mind in argument mode, simply note arguing and return your attention to your breath. This mental resistance is often the loudest but becomes much quieter once we learn to recognize it. Now we'll practice the shift from resistance to flow. With this same change situation in mind, ask yourself, what would it feel like to stop fighting this? Don't think about the answer, feel into it. Notice if there's a subtle softening in your body, a sense of spaciousness around the situation. This is the beginning of a flow state. In flow, we're still engaged with our challenges, but without the extra layer of resistance that creates suffering. Let's practice moving between resistance and flow states consciously. First, deliberately tighten your shoulders and clench your jaw. This is physical resistance. Note resisting and then consciously soften, letting your shoulders drop and jaw release. Feel the shift from tension to ease. Now think a resistant thought like, "This shouldn't be happening." Note arguing and then shift to a flowing thought like, "This is what's here right now." Notice how different these states feel in your entire system. Return to your change situation one more time. This time, practice what I call noting with curiosity. Instead of just noting resisting, try interesting. Resisting is here, with a tone of gentle investigation. Instead of noting arguing, try, arguing thoughts are visiting. This curious tone helps you develop a friendlier relationship with your resistance patterns, which paradoxically helps them soften more quickly. As we prepare to close, let's establish your daily practice. Throughout today, when you encounter any change or uncertainty, from small schedule disruptions to larger life transitions, practice this three-step process. First, pause and take one conscious breath. Second, note whether you're in resistance mode or flow mode. Third, if you're resisting, ask, what would it feel like to soften around this? And allow whatever shift wants to happen naturally. Remember, resistance isn't wrong. It's a natural protective response. But when we can recognize it and consciously choose our relationship to it, we develop what I call change resilience, the ability to bend without breaking, to adapt without losing our center. You're building this capacity each time you practice noting these patterns. Take 3 final conscious breaths, appreciating your commitment to developing greater ease with life's inevitable changes. When you're ready, gently open your eyes and carry this awareness of resistance and flow states into your day. Tomorrow, we'll explore how to apply these skills to specific transition challenges. Well done on today's practice.